Thank you for sharing the time in the story of Saving Grace. In the story finale, we will be wrapping up the short version of the revised story of Saving Grace. In this episode and segment of part 7, we will be sharing this ending of this story. And back to Saving Grace. Saving Grace is a story that has been shared in a long version as well. You can see that at YouTube and also here at this channel. Hello, Grace, said Marissa. Are you ready for the speech and the award? Yes, I am. We'll be on our way to pick you up. Oh, great. I'm excited. Is Michael there? Yeah, Michael's coming with me. Okay, great. We'll follow you out to the venue and just be prepared to receive the award. Excellent. You have your speech prepared, said Marissa? I do. I'm not a public speaker, but I have a lot to say. That's great, said Marissa. I'll see you at the house over there. Well, your house with Michael. Excellent, said Grace. See you there. As Michael and Grace got in the car and prepared to wait for Marissa to drive up in the driveway, it wasn't that much longer that Marissa pulled up. Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. You'll get to meet Miss Jackson and everything that is prepared for this event. Oh, great. As they got to the event and venue at the community center, it was not a huge crowd, but it was large enough for Grace to be a little nervous because she doesn't public speak. They wanted her to discuss her journey from Ohio to Missouri and share her story about this award that she was receiving, a special community award for her art project. Oh, wow. I get to meet Miss Jackson, said Grace to Michael. Yes, that's so great, said Michael. I'm so proud of you. So, you ready? Said Marissa. Yes. Miss Jackson walks up to Grace and shakes Grace's hands. Congratulations on your award, said Miss Jackson. Oh, thank you. It's so nice to meet you, Miss Jackson. Michael shakes Mrs. Jackson's hand. It's nice to meet you. I hear a lot about pro-adoption awards and ceremonies here, too. Yeah, we have a lot of award ceremonies throughout the year. We would like to consider adoption, said Grace, as Michael agreed and nodded. Yes, that would be excellent. We can consider that at some point and discuss it. Well, listen, the ceremony's about to begin, so let's take our seats. As Grace made her way up to the stage with Miss Jackson, the speaker of the night was Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson was going to introduce Grace to the group that was there at the event and venue. Hi, my name is Miss Jackson, and as you know, we have a very special guest who's going to receive an award for her special art project, and she has a small speech prepared, and I would like to take the time to introduce Grace Smithton, and without too much else, I would like to bring Grace up here to speak on her art project and her story. Grace, welcome to the stage. Thank you. My name is Grace Smithton, and my husband is here, and my friends and colleagues that I work with are also here in support of my award, and I am glad and happy to receive this award. Believe me, I did not expect this to receive an award like this in the community center, so I'm glad to accept it. By the way, my story here and my journey from Ohio to Missouri is a long and hard story, but I want to say through art therapy, I've been able to process my anxieties and stress on art and therapy, and it's given me a new way to, well, let's just say a healthy outlet. I'm recently newly married to Michael Smithton. Can Michael stand up, please? Michael stands up and waves. And I'm glad to say that my life has turned around. He really did save me from a life of really hardship. My story is called Saving Grace, and I'm writing the story as we speak. Thank you so much for taking the time to honor me with this award as Grace receives the award from Miss Jackson. I am so honored to receive this award. I hear that it's going to be displayed at the community center, and I am honored to receive this award. As everybody began to clap for Miss Jackson and Grace casually walks away from the podium and walks away. Thank you so much for this award again, said Grace Smithton. Thank you so much, said Miss Jackson. You not only worked for it, you earned it, said Miss Jackson. As the crowd dispersed from the podium and everybody gathered at the reception area, it was such a wonderful event that Grace was just teary eyed. Michael couldn't be any more proud. That award is beautiful, said Michael. It is. So, what's next? Well, I'm going to write the story called Saving Grace. It's about being saved from this whole wretched experience and finding a new way of life. Thank you so much for all that you have done for me, Marissa, Miss Jackson, Michael. All of you played a real role in my life. It's really been an experience, and everyone that has really worked hard to help me. Well, it's been an honor to work with you so closely. Now you have an award. Your journey has really taken a long, well, it's been a year actually of what you've done to get this far. Imagine what another year or 2 years or 10 years will be like, where you'll go from here, said Miss Jackson. Yeah, I agree. I want to thank all of you, especially my husband. I love you, Michael. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Miss Jackson. We're going to depart from here, said Grace, because we have some things we have to do at the house. Oh, that's fine. You sure you want to stay for refreshments? I would love to, but we have so much going on since we got married that we're so busy just trying to keep up with being newlyweds. Oh, I understand, said Miss Jackson. I was a newlywed not too long ago. That's 25 years ago, of course. Grace chuckled. That's funny. Yeah, I still consider us newlyweds. Okay, well, we're going to leave, Marissa. Okay, said Marissa. I'm so proud of your accomplishments, and you did such a great job. Wait till you see your poster and your portrait up in the community center. Oh, I'm so grateful, said Grace. As Michael and Grace left the building, they got excited to see this award. Michael says, I know just the place I want to put it in. Is it okay if I put it in my office? Oh, absolutely, said Grace, as they got in the car and drove home to their new home that they shared together. Wow. So what are we going to do with all the rooms? Well, that's where Miss Jackson comes in. That's the chapter that we're going to have to work on in the future. Yeah, our future is wide open, said Grace. Well, that's true. We got a lot of things to consider. I know, but we don't have to think about that right now. What we need to consider is what's here and right now. That's true. I'm just grateful for what I have right now. And I have you. I have you. I have my life. I have my happiness. And the story of saving grace is going to be a story that's going to be worth sharing. So you're going to go ahead and write the story? Yeah. Saving grace. It's about saving me from domestic abuse. It's already been written. It's really based on true stories of domestic abuse and surviving and life after domestic violence and how you can survive and thrive. And this award sealed it for me tonight. That's so amazing, Grace, said Michael. I'm so proud of you. Yep. As they arrive home and they unsettle from all the things that they have been through, they finally get reasonably settled into the house and they get unpacked the car with groceries that they had bought earlier from the day. It's nice to have a nice home cooked meal too. Yeah, it is. We've been going out to eat so much that it's reasonable to have a nice meal. Just then, Tom and Adrienne popped in. Hey, is it okay if we have a cookout today? It wouldn't hurt. What do you plan on cooking? I was thinking about ribeye steaks and potatoes. Yeah, so Tom and Adrienne went down to the patio and started the grill and started cooking up the ribeye steaks and potatoes. That was perfect timing. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking. We wanted a home cooked meal anyway, said Grace. Michael agreed. They enjoyed a nice meal on the patio, and it was not such a hot afternoon as it was. They finally got to enjoy the speech and talking about the event that they took place earlier that evening. At least it's spring now. Yeah, at least we can enjoy light weather. Yeah. As Tom and Adrienne decided to wrap up and clean up, well, we don't want to stay too long because we know how newlyweds are. They need their rest. Yeah. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom, for stopping over. We really appreciate your time. Yeah, we would like to stay longer, but we know how it is. We know how time is consumed with so many projects and responsibilities. Not really, said Grace. It's still easy to manage time. It's just Michael has to work and, you know, it gets kind of lonely. I understand, said Adrienne. I've been there too. Well, I'm glad that we got the time to spend together. It is true. Well, Grace and Michael got to say their goodbyes and kiss Adrienne and Tom so long for the time being as Adrienne and Tom pulled out of the driveway. It was so nice seeing them. It is so nice seeing family. It's good to catch up with family when you have the time to do that. Yeah. Hey, Michael, I'm going to start writing my Saving Grace transcript. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go get some things done for work for tomorrow because I know my meeting is Tuesday and Thursdays. So it'll give me a chance to catch up on work because I will be going back to work this week. Okay, Michael, that sounds good. As Grace started writing the pages to Saving Grace in the transcript, she wanted to outline exactly how she wanted to write the story about how it was and how life is now today. And that award really sealed it for her. It really is an amazing, transforming event that took place in her life. Being married has changed it all for her. It's been amazing to adjust to whole new life. It's like this is the beginning of a new start. Saving Grace is the chapter she wants to end, and she wants to put a final end to the story of her life and begin the new chapter with Michael. So as she wrote the transcript and finally wrote out the rest of the story, She finally got the chance to get to Michael and said, "Well, Michael, I wrote out the rest of the story of Saving Grace. What do you think? Let me get a chance to read it and let you know." So Michael took the time to read through it. He said, "Wow, this is really good. This is the transcript? Yeah, excellent work. Grace, do you think you want to publish it?" "I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to go about doing that because I never did anything like that." "Well, it looks excellent. I think you should really consider taking your transcript to a publisher." "Well, whatever I decide to do, I hope it promotes the best positive energy possible." "Well, I think it's excellent. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. Now it's on to the next chapter, and that's our life together as a husband and wife and what our future plans are. That's exactly why I want to end this chapter of my life. Saving grace is one thing, it's the next chapter that's most important. And that's a whole nother book for another story." "That's true. I love you, Grace. Good work." "I love you too, Michael. Thank you." And that's the end of this chapter of Saving Grace and the story finale of Saving Grace. Saving Grace was based on true stories of surviving domestic violence. All stories and the characters were names were changed for protection of those who were survivors of domestic violence. If you know somebody that's been a victim or survivor of domestic violence and needs encouragement and support, there's a toll-free national hotline number available in the text message below. It's in the description box there for your support. There's a safe haven for those who are trying to escape domestic violence. Anyone that's ever survived domestic violence knows firsthand that it's hard to leave. But once you leave, you can get recovery and support and help. With those who know the story of Saving Grace, it's there as a message of hope and encouragement that you too can have a better life after domestic violence. If you can escape it and live a better life, you can be encouraged that there's a future for you and your children and your family, and families can build upon the strength of hope in God and faith. Have faith that you can recover from domestic violence. The future is broad and open for those who can escape domestic violence. The story of Saving Grace is not only just about escaping domestic violence, but it's about recovery. Art therapy and forms of counseling can be an additional support and resource. So you can seek other forms of dealing with anxiety and stress and how to cope. Those are forms of recovery that are useful and techniques that can help deal with stress disorders that are often associated with domestic violence. This is now the end of the story of Saving Grace. Thank you for your additional support in the story of Saving Grace. The finale of domestic violence doesn't end here, but let this be a hope and story to share with others about encouraging others that it does get better once you recover from domestic violence. It is my hope that I can share this story as a survivor of domestic violence. Remember, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and you too can support awareness by just sharing and listening to the stories of those who've recovered from domestic violence. Thank you for your support and additional recuperating from domestic violence is a long journey. By your support and your encouragement, it makes such a difference. Thank you once again, and God bless.